Next question. How should Christians be preparing their families while we wait for the coming of the Lord? Well, I guess the answer depends on the state of the hearts of those in your family. Let's say, for argument's sake, that these people in your family are believers. Well, if you have a position in your family to influence others who are also believers, then you should be encouraging them to live with eyes for eternity. They should be taught to read the Bible and understand what it says, to appreciate that its focus is on the eternal realm and not on this earth. You should be encouraging them to consider that they'll have a far longer period of time serving Jesus in the next world than they do in this one, and therefore they ought to use this life to the greatest extent possible to prepare for the next. You ought to be encouraging them to consider that every decision they make has an impact on their eternal rewards, and they ought to be thinking like that. You ought to be encouraging them not to get wrapped up in this world, not to be distracted by the cares and the pleasures, the riches and the worries of this life, not to think that this world is heaven, or to try to make it into heaven, but to fully and totally set aside the things of this world and think only of what is coming next. Use this world for what it's worth. It's a place to prepare for the next, to seek after the things of God here and to help others see the truth of the gospel, and then to be ready to serve Him in the kingdom to come. That's how you want believers in general to be thinking, and you want to help anyone you can to gain that mindset, to gain eyes for eternity. But let's say, for argument's sake, the people that are in your family are not all believers. Maybe there's some that aren't yet believing. And for that group, there's only one answer to that question. What do we do for anyone who doesn't know Jesus? We preach the gospel. We preach it in our words and we preach it in our actions. We explain it patiently. We give them things to consider from Scripture. We take them to the Word and show them what it says about Jesus. We answer their questions patiently. Just keep preaching the gospel. Because until they believe in Jesus, well, nothing else matters. They won't be part of that resurrection moment. They won't have the future in heaven that we're talking about. So if they do not know Jesus, preach the gospel. If they do know Jesus, preach the need to think about their eternal future and to live with eyes for eternity.